Lindsey.
Hi, my name is Katie Hutchinson, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm also a certified mediator. And we're so happy to have you guys here today on Friday. Thank goodness
God.
it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank God.
Thank
and
God
so
it's
interesting that you're saying thank God.
That's right.
Because today
I'm
we're talking.
Lindsey Kearns. I'm the
Yes.
mama behind MalibuMamaLoves.com, and I'm also a certified conscious trauma-informed life coach. And today, as Katie was just saying, we are going to talk about God. We want to talk about spiritual abuse. And this is really any attempt somebody makes to exert power and control over another person using religious, faith, scriptures, and beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it can happen with any religious organization or in any personal relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be any particular type of denomination. It's usually an element of child abuse, elderly abuse, or domestic violence. And it's usually used to justify abuse.
Other forms of abuses,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the physicals, the sexual, the financial.
Yep.
And it's awful.
Yes.
So, and it can happen in several different ways. There's not just one type of spiritual abuse.
Yes.
When
Or
you're within
religious
a religion,
Mm-hmm.
the leader usually will be using scripture or beliefs to humiliate and embarrass you or other people of the congregation, but they do it publicly, and it's awful. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you even feel uncomfortable in that situation when you're watching somebody else.
Of course, but that's
be
a way to
humiliated.
control all
Everybody.
of the congregation of the people.
Right, because you don't want to be next.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and you will be next.
They also will try to coerce you into giving money or resources that you previously weren't wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
They'll try to force you into being intimate with them or somebody else in front of them or
Mhm.
multiple people in front of them.
Yes.
That again, you didn't want to do.
No.
And they
Yes.
also pressure you and they make you feel obligated to do things against your will that don't feel right to you. But
Mhm.
because of your obligation and, you know, the spirituality of it and thinking God will be mad,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
God will never be mad at you.
I know. God will always love you. Whatever
Mhm.
God you believe in or whatever
Right.
spirituality you have. At home, it may look like they shame, they make fun of you, they ridicule your beliefs or practices or your lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
They prevent you from practicing your religion or practicing your spirituality in whatever way that you want to.
Mm-hmm.
They use your beliefs and or their beliefs to manipulate you. They a lot of times will demand that the children are raised in a particular way with a particular religion and certain characteristics, whatever that might be, never using the internet or whatever, which might be good for all kids, but whatever. And then, like I said before, they justify abuse.
Like physical abuse,
Sexual abuse around religion.
financial abuse.
Yes,
as well.
financial, definitely
Yeah,
financial
like what
too.
we just talked about, and I know a lot of them take advantage of these things.
That's
you know?
true.
So people who experience this type of spiritual abuse, they really feel isolated and ashamed,
Mm-hmm.
and that shame is
Mhm.
just debilitating.
Mm-hmm.
And they also feel like they deserve it. They internalize it. They say, well, I deserve this sort of treatment. I should be treated this way to keep me in line,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it should never be that way. You may be experiencing spiritual abuse if someone close to you is using scriptures or beliefs to control your clothing,
Mm-hmm.
to control your behaviors,
Yep.
to control your sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
to control your decision-making process on every level,
Mm-hmm.
to control your choice to have children or not to have children, to get a divorce or not to get a divorce, and also your finances.
Mm-hmm.
They'll use this to control your finances. This is something that's going on with you. You might want to start to think that's not overly normal.
And when you have children, they will use it lots of times to control the children. They will they will control you through the children, right?
And they use scriptures. You know, I was just sharing with Katie, I had a friend ages ago when we first had babies. And she came over and she was just exhausted, and we were talking, and we started talking about sex, as a lot of new mommies do. And, you know, it's like, well, how are you feeling? Are you back in there?
Yeah.
And, you know, I've already shared with you guys, I was never out of the game. I'm a very sexual person.
Of course, she had a cesarean, so, you know, not that we need to get into specifics, but
yes. Anyway, she was saying, you know, I get so tired, and my husband's they were very, very religious people. They read the Bible a lot. They were very well known with scriptures and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, it does say in the Bible every 3 days you're meant to have sex with your husband.
You're supposed to.
Yes,
right? You have to.
And so he had her living in that. And she's saying, I just get so tired, and sometimes I don't want to. And I was a little bit like, that's kind of extreme.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be having sex if you don't want to, but again, at that time, like, it's not something that people will really call out and say, hey, that's real abuse,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's so subtle.
Well,
It's so
and
subtle.
if you're their friend rather than their therapist.
Right.
I've experienced this a lot. I've seen this a lot in my practice. I had one particular person that came in and was wanting to get a divorce because this relationship was extremely toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And their significant other told them if they divorce them that they are going to hell, that the devil will be taking their soul,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, et cetera. And this person really believed this.
Yeah.
It took years to unwind what the significant other had done to the...
Well, a lot of times when we're raised within these religions, right,
Mhm.
because there's so many different types, and
Mhm.
every religion has its own little manifesto, if you will,
Yes.
or I don't know what the right word is.
Our extremism.
Yeah,
I
some
don't
of
know.
them are very extreme.
Yeah.
And when you're raised in that way and you're thinking that and you don't know any different,
No, you just
you want to please your
Yeah.
husband or your wife,
and it's your community, so it's
Right.
like they're all going to
You
turn
don't wanna be
against
looked
you.
down upon.
Yeah, and
So
you don't want to be
it's-
denounced.
yeah, it's a hard thing. I mean, my
Mhm.
advice to you is if you're feeling this way, sort of try to get out of your community a little bit and find
Mhm.
somebody, a therapist, a life coach, or
Mhm.
even a group online of people that are going through this,
Yep.
just so you can have somebody to talk to and start to figure things out and kind of open your eyes a little bit
Mhm.
to what feels right for you in your
Mhm.
heart, between you and God.
You'll feel it in your gut if it's wrong. You will
Yeah.
feel it in your
But
gut.
really, the only way we talk about this before is really just with therapy.
Mhm.
Is the way to get through this, to kind of relearn, retrain those neural pathways that we
Mhm.
talk about all the time.
And I like what you said. I think it's very important to then start to maybe branch out and meet other people that aren't just within this religious or spiritual
Right.
organization.
Because it's the same as I talk about with travel all the time, how travel will keep us enlightened and
Yes.
awakened and aware of other solutions that we can bring back to our community.
Yeah.
It's the same here when you're within such a small community and you're living in ways that don't feel right to you and
Mhm.
aren't feeling good. When you start to branch out and talk to other people, you can get other solutions, because
Mhm.
this is not, life is not a one size fits all for everybody.
No, and you don't feel
really
so
isn't.
alone. It's so important to see that there are other people that are out there that are experiencing something similar to you. I
Yeah.
know even just right now, just going through the grief of losing my father, which we've talked about on numerous occasions, I definitely have connected with friends that have lost, one of their parents
Yeah.
within the last year or so, and that really has helped me not feel so alone, because it is
Yeah.
so lonely. And
It
same
is.
with
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
spiritual,
So,
religious.
all right, you guys, with that, we're going to leave you for Friday. I hope you
Yes.
have an awesome Mother's Day weekend. If you are a mother out
Yes.
there, I hope you get totally spoiled this weekend, and we
Mhm.
are sending you all of our love.
Yes, happy Mother's Day and happy Friday.
We'll see you guys on Monday.
Goodbye.
Bye.